Today's video is a throwback video from about 5 years ago where we're out at the camp and we're talking about antler restrictions. Out at the camp tonight. I got my son Nick here with me. Kind of going over some stuff here, getting ready to go out and maybe do a little bow hunting tomorrow. And I guess the main thing we're kind of going over is, you know, what size or type of buck that we might. Okay, don't blow that while we're filming, okay? Yeah, we're gonna talk about like maybe the different size or type of buck that we may or may not shoot if we're given the opportunity. So one of the things I wanted to talk to Nick about tonight, and I thought maybe I'd share it with you outdoor YouTubers also, is, you know, some of the different antler restrictions, self-imposed antler restrictions that we've had through the years at this camp. I know a lot of you guys out there, you've heard of QDM, quality deer management, right? You know, that's a lot of times that's where you want to let those 1.5-year-old bucks go, let them grow another season to get bigger. And you know, our camp has practiced the involuntary implementation of QDM for several of the years, you know, where we didn't see any 1.5-year-old bucks. After several years of the involuntary implementation of QDM, you know, we had mixed results. So we actually, my buddy Ronnie Camaro, he read this article and he showed it to us all at the camp, and it was on kind of a new type of deer management, and it's called trophy buck preservation. The main thing behind this trophy buck preservation, the main thing that you got to do is when you're out hunting, any bucks with 8 or more points, you got to let them go. So you let the bucks with 8 or more points go. Yeah, I know it's pretty restrictive, but you know, we kind of thought that, you know, that'll be a good fit for our camp. You know, we can be pretty disciplined, decide to out here. You know, one of the main reasons we decided to be a good fit is, you know, what you're doing is you're taking those more mature bucks and you're giving them, one more year to mature, to get that rack bigger. You know, so that was one reason we decided to do it. And, you know, the other reason that we thought it'd be a good fit for our camp is when we go out hunting, we really don't even see hardly any bucks with 8 or more points anyways. So we didn't think it'd be, you know, really that hard to do here. One of the reasons we don't see too many with 8 or more points is we have a lot of snow totals in the winter. So we have a lot of winter die-off in this area of the UP. We have a lot of predators, wolves, coyotes, cougars. So, you know, that kind of keeps the deer herd down. If you do hunt somewhere where the deer population is high, snow levels are low, predators are low, that sort of thing, and you have a lot more, you know, 8 points or better bucks running around, you know, it's probably going to be a little harder for you to practice trophy buck preservation, you know. And, you know, I know a lot of guys, they're, it's like, man, you know, I'll pass that buck up, I don't mind doing it, but I'm afraid that my camp neighbor or the guy down the road hunting from me is going to shoot it. That's what a lot of guys say, and it can be a little tough. But, you know, that article that Ronnie brought out about trophy buck preservation had some interesting statistics in it. And one of them was, you know, these deer scientists had done some studies. If you let a mature buck go, you know, you don't harvest that buck, there's a good chance it'll grow to be a bigger buck the next year. Conversely, if you do decide to harvest that buck, if you shoot that buck, you know, that mature buck, you know, the same studies by those deer scientists show that that buck will definitely not grow to be a bigger buck next year because it'll be dead. You know, so I mean, these are just some things to keep in mind when you're trying to decide, whether trophy buck preservation is right for you. Yeah, and even though our camp, practiced trophy buck preservation for several years, I would never support having that be a law throughout the state, that you can't shoot bucks with 8 or more points. It's pretty restrictive. It doesn't always fit into everybody's, mold of hunting. All hunters have different skill levels. All hunters have different opportunities. That should kind of be left up to the individual, to decide. Just because my camp hunts a certain way doesn't mean all camps should hunt that way. Because everybody's in a different situation, right? But even after several years of practicing trophy buck preservation, the deer herd here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, it was still way down. We still weren't seeing a lot of bucks here at the camp. I remember back then I had read this article that was saying like from 2010 to 2012, the deer herd had dropped 30% here in the UP. And then in 2013, it had dropped another 40%. And then in 2014, it had dropped another 35%. So, leading into that 2015 season, if you add it all up, the UP's deer herd was down 105% over the last 5 years prior to that. So the UP's deer herd was estimated to be at a -5%. Me and the guys at the camp got to talking, and we just figured, we got to do something. We got to get really strict with the bucks that we shoot. We thought, if we can come up with something, even if it's something that maybe could help increase the deer herd, maybe bump it up 5%, at least then the UP would at least be back to, 0 deer anyways. We threw around a few ideas, and we decided to vote on this one. It went to a camp vote. A few of the guys weren't too happy about it, but it got voted in, and it was the new camp rule. And the new camp rule was we were going to only shoot albino bucks. And I know that sounds just crazy, right? But we did include piebald bucks, the partial albinos. They have just, partial white on them here and there. That's definitely, that's going to protect a lot of bucks, So we went into last season with the albino rule, with also you could shoot the piebalds. I don't think any of us thought we were going to shoot any deer with that kind of a rule. But sure enough, opening day rolls around, and my buddy Spruce Hen that hunts with us out here, sure enough, he shows up at the camp with a 6-point piebald buck. I was shocked. I was looking at it as it was hanging there on the buck pole, and I gotta admit, I wasn't even sure that it was a piebald. I thought it was just a regular buck. But then Spruce Hen pointed out how the white markings, like on the underside of the belly, and then the white markings on the underside of the tail, and I was like, I didn't even notice that, really. And it's kind of a testament to how good of a woodsman he is, because he shot that deer at like 100 yards. He could see it was a piebald from 100 yards away. And so we were just in shock, that we even got a deer that year. And, I don't know if we're going to go with that this year, because really, I don't know. For our particular area, I don't know how many deer that really protected, because, once Spruce Hen showed us how to correctly identify an albino or a piebald buck, we wound up shooting 2 more bucks that year. Yeah, I didn't think there was that many piebalds around, but like I say, the rest of us really didn't know how to properly identify them. I think what we're going to do this year, we had kind of talked it over, me and the guys at the camp, and I think we're just going to kind of leave it up to the individual. As long as it's a legal buck, just kind of leave it up to the individual guy if he wants to shoot it or not. And, I think that'll probably work pretty good for us. Well, there you have it, outdoor YouTubers. And hey, remember this: hunt, fish, laugh, repeat. This is Dave Knetter with Nick Knetter from Knetter's Practical Outdoors. Hey, thanks for watching, and God bless.